What is up, everybody? It is me, DevilNeverCry, and today we are back with a video on PvP in DMC5. That's right, it's as the title states, it's as the video shows, player versus player combat. As always, make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with anything and everything at DevilNeverCry and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out when new content drops. But as I was saying, this is a mod that was included in DMC Strive. It's part of the collab cheat table, which has all the saucy and spicy mods for DMC on PC, with things like Turbo and Inertia and such. And I'd covered Strive earlier on the channel, and I'd mentioned that I wanted to get around to playing PvP finally, and I finally have. In the background, you're going to see me play as Nero, Hitchhiker, the main modder behind DMC Strive and PvP mod, play as V, and Rocktex, I believe, play as Dante, though that does switch around slightly, because there's two different matches included in this video. But that does mean if you're going to be playing with three people, you know, the 1v1v1, one of you, unfortunately, is going to have to play as V, though to be honest, V gets a pretty big advantage in that, you know, he has these two other summons that he fights with, of course. They pull your lock on quite easily, so you're going to be trying to attack V, who's all frail with his cane there, but you're not going to be able to lock on properly just because his summons pull your lock on. Also, not sure if you noticed, but you're probably going to see later in the video, Dante and his goddamn round trip is insanely overpowered with the Devil Sword Dante. That thing stunlocks you and juggles you to high hell, and there's nothing you can do about it. But there was some ground rules we set out when playing these matches. Primarily, I wasn't able to spam breakages with the breaker arms, and Dante was not allowed to invoke the SDT, the Sin Devil Trigger. Those things were out of the question. I guess they made the game too unfair. But regardless, it was still fun to play. Keep in mind, again, this is just a PvP mod. It's not meant to be super balanced, though there have been patches put out to help balance things. And simple things like, you know, slowing down bullets as projectiles so that they're easily dodgeable or roll guardable. Otherwise, you could just mash out as many charge shots as you can and stunlock people to death. But all in all, I think it does work well. You know, people always joke about PvP and Devil May Cry, and that it just wouldn't necessarily be viable. And I guess from a competitive aspect, sure. But you know, if you just want to hop in with some friends, play some games, shoot the shit, have a laugh, it is definitely worth trying, especially if you have a copy available on PC. Now, I did initially record all the audio for this footage. It included the game audio and myself along with several others in a voice chat in Discord, popping off, ramping off, just playing the game, but unfortunately the audio balancing was completely out of whack. The others were far too quiet, so it was almost like you were hearing a one-sided conversation, as if I was talking to a brick wall or to ghosts even. So I guess it was probably in the best interest that I do provide this voiceover, and actually it gives me a chance to talk more about the mod and what I think of it so far. I do also want to mention that the combat is essentially unchanged. You can go in, you can combo people, jump cancel them. I'm pretty sure you can guard fly off people as well if you can land one of those. You can do all sorts of things, but considering that the other players have an arsenal equal to yours, if not better, in the case that you're playing V, it's very hard to keep somebody pinned down and stun locked, if that makes sense. If you can land something, hey, then you know you're good to go. But more often than not, people will be trickster dashing, Gerbering, doing that bloody shadow dodge that V has, and it's tough to pin people down. And to be honest, I think wild area of effect attacks probably tend to work best, just because they cover a wide surface area, so you're kind of hitting two birds with one stone, if that makes sense. And then of course, considering it's a free-for-all, people can gang up on you if you're not careful, or you and somebody else can conspire and gang up on another person. Now, if the idea of a free-for-all does not interest you, if you want to throw down the gauntlet, if you want to issue a challenge, you can face people 1v1, you can duel them, whether it's just you two or you're having somebody else spectate, perhaps to role keep, or maybe you're into the voyeur stuff and you just like to have people watching. Whatever suits your fancy, you can go off and do that. Now, what I do think would be pretty cool is if you could have more than one player in an instance, if that makes sense. If you could have, you know, a gaggle of Dantes, like 10 Dantes just rock up and fight each other, that would be awesome. But I think considering the way the game works, with, you know, only having one of each character, I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon, though that would be a sight to behold. Just 50 different Dantes, screaming Royal Guard all at once and then melting your PC. Now my PC didn't actually melt when we were playing, it did crash a couple of times. My hardware or my setup isn't necessarily the best, and I was of course recording at the same time, which I think maybe pushed my machine a little too far, but you know, I don't think it's going to be melting anybody's PC anytime soon, but don't quote me on that. I hold no liability if your PC ends up bursting into flames, but definitely go out there and have some fun with this mod. And I think that's going to bring us to the end of the video. Let me know what you think. Are you interested in PvP, or is it not your cup of tea? With all that said and done, it has been me, DevilNeverCry. I would like to thank all of you for watching, and as always, I'll see you all next video.